Okay, so there was a statistic done recently. Someone asked Olympic medalists, how long did it take for you until you reached your first medal? I think it was like 2 questions, like how long did it take until you reached your first medal, and then the second one was when did you start weightlifting? And then so I'm relatively new, and it was not like I wasn't 18 years old and I was like, I'm going to represent, I'm going to be a weightlifter for Brunei. Like this is not where I expected my life to be. But I think when it comes to weightlifting, a misconception is you need to be strong. Yes, you do need to be. I know.
I was going to say you don't need to be strong.
No, all this stuff. And maybe because it was my first time joining, I was maybe a bit naive. I was more like, eyed open. I was like, wow, everything was like seeing everything for the first time kind of thing. So maybe I'm a bit biased in that sense. So I felt like I wanted to talk to everyone, or like, and then a lot of our experiences, it's not ours to keep as well. It's us to share, right? Part of my goal, in a sense, as well, is to take back as much experience from these events and then bring it back to Brunei. Because a lot of the times, it's the soft skills that you develop in sports that I think will help you in your other aspects of life. Like for example, in weightlifting, it's taught me a lot of patience, trust the process. Right? You don't just lift 100 kilos overnight. It's planning. It's
any message that you would like to convey to it?
So many.
Where do you start?
Where do I start?
So first, maybe it would be good to get you to introduce yourself.
Okay. Well, first of all, Sanjay, thank you for having me. My name is Muhammad Haji Kamit, but my friends know me by Mo Kamit. I am a Bruneian weightlifter and also a personal trainer.
All right. So for those who still don't know, so Mo is part of the Brunei's national squad
for weightlifting.
Correct.
Sorry, go ahead.
And?
I do, so I'm under the 79 category, so under 79 for Brunei.
So we thought it would be nice to hear from you, because recently you had 2 international sports events that you participated, right?
Yes.
Would you like to tell us which are these 2?
Yeah, so there were 2 events back to back, one in November and then one recently in December. The first one was the Islamic Solidarity Games. I believe over 55 Islamic nations participated in, and this was in Saudi Arabia back in November. And then recently, just this month, 2 weeks ago, was the Southeast Asian Games, so the SEA Games, 33rd SEA Games in Thailand, Bangkok.
Okay.
So yeah.
What is it? Islamic
Solidarity Games. Yeah, so the ISG. I believe it happens every 4 years as well.
Oh.
Yeah, so they host it every 4 years in different Islamic nations.
It's not something new. Huh?
No. I think like this is not their first one.
It's not the first.
This is not the first one. They've done a couple already, but this is the first time I represented Brunei for this, and I think it's the first time Brunei sent weightlifters for this. I guess it's like the Islamic nation version of SEA Games.
Okay.
So yeah.
How many countries participated?
I think 55. 55 nations. Yeah, so it was a lot of people. Some of the top athletes were there in the world. So it was really nice to see them, and in Thailand as well. So, yeah.
So before we talk about these 2 sports events, this is not your first time participating in like international kind of sports events?
No, not at the international level. But however, it is the first time officially representing Brunei through a contingent for weightlifting. Before ISG, in previous years, it was just myself, self-sponsored, registering under Brunei. When they ask you what country you're from.
Origin.
Country of origin, but it's not official. It's not like it's endorsed by official government bodies. But this, however, was the first time that Brunei sent myself and a few other fellow athletes for weightlifting. So it was very exciting.
So previously you did also weightlifting?
Yes, it was also weightlifting. In different weight categories. I went from under 81 and then now to 79. So in the world of weightlifting, they also change the weight classes quite often.
Okay.
So for example, next year in August, they're going to change the weight classes again. There'll be no more 79. I'll either have to go up to 85 kilograms or go down to 75 kilograms. So we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Okay.
But yeah, so weightlifting is a very dynamic sport. It's not always the same. Rules change all the time, so you kind of just have to adapt.
Okay.
And then you just do your best when you show up, and that's it.
All right. So let's talk about the two recent sports events that you participated. So how was the experience?
I'll be honest, officially representing as an athlete for Brunei in a contingent did add additional pressure.
Okay.
Because now you're like, oh man, now these people sent me. There's a level of expectation that there's a level of like additional. I wouldn't say. Maybe pressure, but like in a good way as well, because when you're under pressure, sometimes that pushes you beyond your comfort zone and your limit as well. So for me, that was the first time I felt that. Even though I've been to so many other competitions at an international level, it was the first time feeling that kind of like also like in a sense of pride. Like I want to like especially for my debut for the contingent. As a contingent athlete, I want to make Brunei proud, kind of thing as well. So like, I don't want to mess it up. I want to do my best. I want to, because I'm also not the youngest athlete anymore. So
Okay.
I understand that and I accept that reality. So I also understand that I think most of the things that I do now, a part of it is also just to inspire others that they,
Okay.
you can, just because you may have passed your prime doesn't mean you can't give it your best. There's no excuse for you to give. I'm afraid I might get hurt, or like I'm afraid of this or of that. But so I just want to show, and so part of me is also like, okay, how I perform is also going to be maybe seen by someone, or I'm not trying to inspire the masses, but maybe it'll just take one athlete, one person who's watching ISG or watching SEA Games and be like, oh, I want to be, I want to lift like Mo one day, kind of thing, and. Sometimes all it takes is one pebble to make, a big ripple in the lake. So that also keeps me going, and also like calms me down as well. Like, yes, you're representing the country. You have to do your best. You also want to beat records and maybe try to compete as close as you can with your other competitors. But then I know outside the competition itself, there's so much more than just the competition itself. It's the people watching, it's the people seeing your journey to get to that stage as well. Because I didn't just wake up one day and then be like, oh, I'm going to go to ISG. It's like months and years of training, and the people that you meet on the way to the training, and the people who see you train, and so a part of it's like to help build that, create that fire in other people as well, or help them keep them going. Because many things in life as well, it's easy to slow down. And then for me, I also have my idols that I look up to. That if my fire kind of dims down a bit for weightlifting, I get tired. I don't want to do this. There are people that I look up to, and I'm like, okay, this guy did it. I want to do it too, as well. So experience-wise, for these two contingent games, it's been eye-opening to the sense where competing on the international stage for your country is not the same as competing at a weightlifting competition registered under your country. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like a next level up, which adds other challenges. But and I'm still learning from those challenges as well, trying to do better. After ISG, 1 month later we did SEA Games. I like to think I performed a lot better as well. And when I talk to other athletes as well, a lot of it just comes with experience. Just the more contingent games you do, the more confident you are, the more you get used to it as well. Because for me, going the first time, everything was new. All the protocols, all the things you had to do. It's not just you wake up one day and you get to wear what you want. You have to represent the country. So you're wearing this, you're doing that. So there's a whole other layer to just going there as an athlete. For example, at Islamic Solidarity Games, there were also a lot of official media outlets. There were also, UNESCO was there as well. So they had representatives for UNESCO, and So when we were there, I was also almost like an ambassador for Brunei as well, because I also did interviews with UNESCO to represent myself as an athlete for Brunei. I joined some of their workshops and their meetings, and then the whole time I'm like thinking, oh, I'm not here for myself, I'm here to represent Brunei, and there are other athletes here in Brunei as well. And a lot of the times as well, like the people you run into, you have to I had to keep reminding myself, like, okay, for a lot of these countries, this is their first interaction with a Bruneian. Right, so you want to set a good first example. Well, like in ISG, in Thailand, I'm sure they've met many Bruneians already. But like a lot of these Islamic countries, they were when we went to the Islamic Solidarity Games, they had to like, oh, Brunei, where's that? And so you have to go through the whole conversation of like explaining it's in Southeast Asia, blah blah blah, and all that as well. So I had to keep remembering, like, okay, you're here, set a good example, all that stuff.
So it's not just like
you're not just there to lift weights.
It's not just like you just excel in weightlifting and
no,
there's
you
all
have
this
to.
other aspect.
You also have to, be a friendly athlete, human being, I guess. Yeah.
Okay. And did you have like this kind of training? Like, will you go there? How do you talk about?
No.
You just have to figure it out.
Yeah,
on
you
your
just
own?
have to kind of figure it out.
Wow.
I mean, but then again, it's a choice as well, because there were definitely some athletes that don't. How would I say this? There were athletes that don't mingle. Like you can see their focus. Like they'll go to the dining hall and they'll just like sit down, do their things, talk with their teammates and their coaches, and then go back to their room. And then you'll see some that like to socialize and like talk and get to know other people from other countries. So, but I feel like that's definitely part of the experience of competing as well, is to meet other people from different countries and different backgrounds. And even though they could be your direct competitors, you also have to understand, like, they're not just athletes, they're also human as well. And humans, we're such social beings that, eventually we want to connect with each other. So. And even if we're not connecting socially, we're connecting through the sport that we're doing at the same time. So
Then I was also thinking like to explore this question a bit more later, because I feel like that it's an aspect that we don't really give much attention to, but then it's like an important element to sports.
The human aspect of sports. We're not just robots. Training, eating, sleeping, and then
repeat.
Yeah, exactly. No, there's a whole other world to it as well that I think often gets foreshadowed in pursuit of a medal or a pursuit of glory or pursuit of like a goal. That all that other stuff kind of just like gets, So.
Yeah, because it's also not every day that a person gets to represent the country, and then you be in a stage where you are with athletes from different countries, and I was just wondering whether if we overlook this aspect of sports, are we also like denying ourselves of something richer from this experience? And so I'll circle back to there later in a bit, but just before we go on to the next part, I wanted to ask, why weightlifting? Of all the sports, why weightlifting?
That's a very good question. Why weightlifting? I ask myself that question very often. Why weightlifting? Every injury or like every hard training session, or if things don't go my way, same question. Why weightlifting? Why weightlifting?
Why not ping pong or like something a bit less?
There's many layers to it, and I can talk about this for hours of like why weightlifting. But I think to condense it for our own sanity and for mine as well, or else I'll be circling as well. I think at the end of the day, why weightlifting is because I think it challenges me physically, emotionally, and also there's some sense of purpose when it's just me and the barbell. I don't know. So I like to give a lot to others. I like to help others. I'm a personal trainer as well, so a lot of my time is serving others as well. I dedicate a lot of my time serving others as well. So I think for when it comes to weightlifting, it's something that I have a level of control with it as well. I choose the weight that I put on. I choose the training that I do. And then that kind of gives me like a sense of purpose and fulfillment. And then kind of like joy and gives some sort of adrenaline to my everyday life. And to be honest, weightlifting is not something that I thought I would be doing. It was completely by accident.
You just suddenly
completely
started
just be
carrying.
like, oh, this looks fun, and then I decided to just go all in with it. But the long story short, about 8 years ago, I got into
Okay.
about 7-8 years ago, I got into a car accident. I was on a bike, and then a car hit me from behind,
Oh,
and
okay.
I had my school bag on my back, and it was clipped on. So when I got hit, I twisted my back, and I flew like 5 meters on the road.
Okay.
Luckily, I was like, there was no major injury that I knew of at the time.
Okay.
And because I was also traveling in between the United States and Brunei, I never really got it checked out. And then, long story short, I lived with chronic back pain ever since then. So I think like a week after the accident, I flew back to Brunei for my sister's wedding, and the whole time my back was just like, oh man, it really hurts. My back really hurts, and I was like, okay, yeah, obviously it hurts. I just got hit by a car. But then I never thought to get it checked because I was still walking. I was still like going out of bed hurts, and I just thought it was like the normal thing when you get hit by a car. And then I think maybe a month later, it didn't get any better. So I went to get an MRI, and then they said I got a slip disc and all this stuff. And then the doctor was like, okay, you have options. And at the time I was a student, no, I was a gap year student, so I wasn't even working. I wasn't even like, I had no money to like pay for surgery for my back, and I didn't even have insurance, all this stuff. So I delayed it. I was like, okay, maybe I can like just live with it. And then I remember I was doing like I was just doing some basic rehab stuff, moving, doing all this stuff, doing a lot of research online. Like how
Just
can
to
I
strengthen,
strengthen the back, strengthen the core. And then I got obsessed with deadlifts. So deadlifts changed my life. Doing a lot of deadlifts every day. Started with a PVC, and then empty barbell, and then add 5 kilos, 1 kilo, 2 kilos. It went on for like maybe 8-12 months, strengthening my back. And because my life circumstance at the time, surgery was like out of the picture.
Okay.
My goal was just to strengthen, deal with the pain, manage the pain, as opposed to like, okay. And I was kind of stubborn and young. I was like, okay, I'll just live with the pain, all this stuff. Eventually deadlifting brought me into weightlifting, and then for some reason weightlifting, it wouldn't hurt as much.
Oh.
Like there was a point where I think for like a couple years, the pain was gone.
Oh.
It would hurt, but it would be sore because of working
So
out.
it's
But
muscle,
it wouldn't be like a sharp pain that I used to have down my leg. Then I was like, oh, okay, maybe So I think because weightlifting, it helped with my hips. I was more flexible in my hips. Before I could barely even squat properly. And then it helped with my posture, with my posterior chain, with like my shoulder mobility, and all this stuff kind of like just opened up my nervous system. Because weightlifting is a very nervous system, nervous system supported sport. So you need your nervous system, you need the feeling and all that stuff. So it helped with that. And then I kind of just went with that. I was like, okay. And then I really liked throwing that weight above my head. Then next thing you know, I was doing it myself, and then eventually I met other people who did it as well. And then we tried to join a competition. One thing led to another, and then there was just more confirmations. Like the more effort I put into weightlifting, the more confirmations there were, doors open. Eventually people wanted to support me to go competition, and then the government said like, oh, okay, we'll send you to ISG and SEA Games. So competitively, I've only been doing weightlifting since 2023.
2023, okay.
Yeah, that was the first competition I ever joined. And before that competition, I was only training 6 months for the competition. And then, so I'm relatively new, and it was not like, I wasn't 18 years old and I was like, I'm going to represent, I'm going to be a weightlifter for Brunei. Like this is not where I expected my life to be. But I was kind of like, okay, just go with it. Sometimes you just have to let go and let God do his thing. You can plan your life as much as possible, but at the end of the day, you just try your best, put in effort, and then doors will open. So at the moment, this is the current chapter. Who knows what my life will hold in the next year or so.
Yeah.
It could change.
You might turn and do like ping pong or pickleball.
Who knows? Who knows? If that happens and I'm good at it, I will not turn it down. I will not. I have, because of my back, I have had a lot of people say, again, ask me a question, why do I still weightlift if I have such a bad back?
Yeah.
But it's like a circle thing as well. Because of the bad back, I picked up weightlifting. But then because of weightlifting, I'm pushing myself to the limit. It's also maybe caused a bit more discomfort. And now only in the past, I think 6 months, 8 months, the pain has started to come. The pinching pain that I used to have when I first had the accident is slowly coming back as well. And I think that's just because, and not to say you shouldn't do weightlifting. Weightlifting is great. But I think to the level that I want to do weightlifting, I need to keep push myself. And I think I just push myself a bit too much to the limit, which, you know, I understand the consequences and I'm prepared to accept the consequences. I have to tell myself like, okay, I already have a bad back. I'll just lift this weight. If it gets worse, oh well. But like you have to accept it first before you know. And then don't get mad if you're hurt the next day. Like, so also take a bit of accountability there. So, but yeah, that's why weightlift. That's what I mean. That question I can talk about for so long. Why weightlifting?
There's so much to it, right?
There's so much to it as well.
Okay, so maybe one last aspect to weightlifting before we go on. What do you think there is to weightlifting that people don't realize? Like just now, I think you mentioned a few, like it's a very nervous system kind of sport. Is there like any other aspect to it that you want people to know about, like weightlifting?
Okay, I think when it comes to weightlifting, a misconception is you need to be strong. Yes, you do need to be. I know.
I was going to say you don't need to be strong.
No, not as strong as you think you do. You need to be. A lot of weightlifting, I think, in my very short experience, I think, and I'm starting to realize the more I watch other athletes, I like that big level, like who win gold medals and all this stuff. What I'm observing is it's technique. And not one technique fits all. So if you see, because it's all up to your biomechanics as well, right? Like your ratio, all these lengths as well. But the foundation, if you have a good foundation and you have a good technique, that will take you further than strength. So if you see all the, like some of the guys in who I competed with, they're not like the most muscular, like they don't look like, they don't have, like yes, they have six packs and they look big with their shoulders and all that stuff, but they're not like they're not
bodybuilders.
Yeah, they're not like bodybuilder kind of like, because when we envision strength, we think of like the bodybuilder, like big muscles around here, all that stuff. Like, that's the misconception. You don't need to look like that to be strong. Like, and you see some of kind of the bigger guys. Some of them have got like big bellies and like not barely. They just look big, but they don't have, you know, those six packs and all that stuff. But like they lift 200 kilos above their head like it's nothing. Right?
Interesting.
So I think that's one thing that I would want to share with weightlifting is it's more technique than it is strength. Your technique will take you further than your raw strength will.
Your raw strength.
Yeah.
Okay. Circling back to, I think, some of the things that you mentioned earlier, of these other aspects to sports that I thought would be nice to explore a bit. So like you were saying, like there were some athletes that when they go to this kind of international competition, they're like laser focused on their mission there to like maybe win a medal or whatever it is, and they just go there. They you were saying they go there, they eat, and then they go back, and it's just
you can tell when they're focused. Yeah, which is good. Maybe maybe that's what it takes to be a world champion, for example. But there's so much more. And some of them are pretty friendly as well. And I think because a lot of the times when you go to these events, they're not just one day. Yes, your competition is one day, but you're also arriving a few days before your competition, and then after your competition, you might stay 1 or 2 days as well. And then in those, so if you look at the whole journey for a competition, for example, ISG, my competition was literally an hour and a half. And then done. Oh. But I was there for 12 days.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So you know what I mean? So it's like, it's a small, the actual competition is a small portion out of the whole preparation and all that stuff.
Okay.
And then with that comes a lot of interaction with other athletes and then all this stuff. And maybe because it was my first time joining, I was maybe a bit naive. I was more like, I'd open, I was like, wow, everything was like, seeing everything for the first time kind of thing. So maybe I'm a bit biased in that sense. So I felt like I wanted to talk to everyone, or like I wanted to understand like how do they train, or like, oh, is this your first time as well, or how many times have you been here, kind of thing. And like I hope I didn't come off annoying to some of these people, but if I had an opportunity to talk to someone and like get to know them, I would try to at least, because part of my goal in a sense as well is to take back as much experience from these events and then bring it back to Brunei. For, who knows if I'm coaching one day for weightlifting. So I need to understand. So the more I understand in the world of weightlifting and the world of sports, the more I can bring back.
Yeah.
And then a lot of our experiences, it's not ours to keep as well. It's us to share, right? So whatever I learn from other countries or from other individuals, what works for them, doesn't mean we have to implement it here in Brunei, but it's just about like sharing that, like what you think might work here, and then you take it back and you get inspired and you bring it back to people you train with. You share other people as well, like how, oh, this is how this country did, or this is how this individual did it as well. So there's so much more than just the competition itself. I've met so many coaches. I love talking to coaches from other countries, especially Indonesia. They're like the most funnest. They're also like some of the strongest athletes in the world.
Oh.
They're like gold medal standard. That's why I'm like so excited. Every time I see Indonesia, I'm like, oh, I want to talk to them and I get to know them. And the coaches are very friendly. They also want to help Brunei grow as a sport, because we're neighbors as well, and they know Brunei is new, especially to the world of weightlifting. So I really appreciated that connection, that human connection between, and not just athletes to athletes, but like athletes to coaches to staff to. So when you're there, I think the most beautiful part was knowing that everyone's here for a purpose. Just for that week of your life, everyone's just there to represent their country, to try their best. And then you look at everyone, you're like, everyone's here going to try their best. We're here. Everyone's here for a reason, and so that kind of like calms you down as well. And you stop seeing other people as your competitors. You kind of like, okay, they're just as human as I am, right? Even though they might have done this more than me, or like, who knows? That's an assumption on me. For all I know, this could be that person's first time as well. And then, so just trying to get rid of that veil of assumptions when you're meeting people for the first time, I think really helped me be open to other athletes and other people at the venue as well. Not to assume like, oh, you're a gold medalist, you don't want to talk to us, kind of thing, or like, to see them as a human first and then athlete second, I think was a really good experience.
This is such a nice account to hear, that even in the international competitive level, that there's still this human spirit of like sharing and being friendly, and like this interaction. It's not just all about winning the gold medal and all that. So.
And I think that's what I love about sports as well. When you start to go to these bigger competitions, you know that all these people who are there put in so much work to get to this level, and it's like you appreciate that, and then they understand. So everyone there's like has this mutual understanding of like everyone is here through hard work. You're not just here because you woke up one day and then you're all of a sudden there. You've had to put some level of work to get there, and so I think that's what I like about it. Like, and then you have events every now and then that bring all these people together. That you're not just lifting on you're by yourself in an isolated part of the world. That eventually, every now, all your hard work comes to a showcase, and you get to show that, see your hard work pay off. And I think that's one of the most satisfying parts about weightlifting and the world of sports, that eventually all the hard work, if you're fortunate, and I'm very blessed to be able to showcase my hard work on that stage. So I think it's great. So that's why when I watch other athletes compete, I'm just like in awe. I'm just like, wow, they worked really hard for that. So
it's like sports by itself. Is there any elements to it that you want to highlight, that you think people should also value, that other than just like the health benefits of like being healthy from sports? Do you think like there's other elements you would like?
Yeah, I think,
mention.
yeah, for sure. When it comes to sports as well, or health in general, I think we have this perception in our society that it's you either have to commit to a sport or commit to a career or family or study. Like it all becomes a dichotomy, kind of like, I need to spend my early 20s and 18s focused on my studies, and then maybe to find a career, especially in places where sports is a bit harder to make a career. It
like
becomes
Asia.
Yeah, in Asia it becomes harder as a viable source of sustainable income, or not a lot of people see it as like a lifestyle, right? And I think what I want to share is that where there's a will, there's a way, right? If you're passionate about it, and I think that's what's weightlifting become for me in the past few years, it's become a passion. Almost an obsession as well, but I like to think,
Borderline.
Yeah, borderline obsession. But it started off with a passion, right? And I didn't have a lot of money. I was like in between jobs, all this stuff, and but weightlifting kept me going because of the passion. But it didn't stop me from looking for a job, or it didn't stop me from pursuing. So I was also studying at my final year in a computer science background while doing weightlifting on the side as well.
Wow, it's like
Yeah, you know what I mean? And then
Yeah.
after I graduated, I was still doing weightlifting, but I was also looking for a job. And then when I did find a job, I was still doing weightlifting, but I was also working full time. But weightlifting was always there, kind of like, because I wanted to do it, the passion was there. So it didn't have to become like a dichotomy where like, okay, I have to study first and then I can do weightlifting later. Or like I have to find a job first and then I'll do weightlifting later. Or I'll do weightlifting now and then I'll worry about stuff. Like you can do both at the same time. And I think that's part of, and it's many things in life as well. It's not just sports and work, career, all that stuff. You can, and I'm not saying that I do it well. I think sometimes weightlifting does take more time than other things, but that's where I need to hold myself accountable and then check myself and then try to find that balance as well. But you need to understand that it's not one or the other. You can have a bit of both, and it's about finding that right balance. And it's many things in just sports as well. Something, if you're passionate about it, try it, do it. If it brings, I think at the end of the day, if that sport or just going to the gym, doing something small brings you joy, and you have the added benefits of health and stronger muscles, and you can do all this stuff, then why not, right? Yeah, I think one thing I've realized when I met athletes at Islamic Solidarity Games, a lot of those athletes were they have full-time careers.
that is not what like it's
Yeah,
not
no.
weightlifting.
I met she was a Muay Thai fighter.
Ooh.
She was also in, not health, she's she also had like a full-time career outside of Muay Thai as well. So she was like, during the day she had a full-time career, and then
goes
at
to
night she was a
work
Muay Thai. So it's kind of like me. During the day, I'm a personal trainer now, and then at night, I'm a weightlifter. So yeah, you can do both. So don't let your career kind of stop you from like trying a new sport or the pursuit of an education or that, because a lot of the times it's the soft skills that you develop in sports that will carry forward into your that I think will help you in your other aspects of life. Like for example, in weightlifting, it's taught me a lot of patience, trust the process. Right? You don't just lift 100 kilos overnight. It's planning. It's following a program. It's progression. It's seeing little victories, and that it's resilience when things don't go your way. That determination, that grit, that a lot of the times that you apply in the gym or in your sport, that then when you do other things in life, it makes it feel so much easier, right? That you can apply to your career as well. So same thing in your career, patience, progression. You don't become a boss overnight. You gotta.
You don't?
Yeah, I mean, some people do, but most people you gotta like progress.
Yeah.
You gotta plan your career, plan out. So a lot of the habits that you develop in the gym, the routine, the pushing yourself, coming, showing up. The discipline, showing up when you don't have to. It's the same thing. You don't feel like working every day, but you still gotta show up. So So a lot of it a lot of it overlaps, and I think I think sports and life in general go hand in hand. And in a world where it's so easy to be lazy, there's so many things. Like I fall for it all the time. I'm a gamer. I have my smartphone. In the world of scrolling, it's so easy to just lose 2 hours of your day just like that from just scrolling. And I'm a victim of it sometimes as well. And I think that's why it's important to do some sort of sports or some sort of hobby that brings you joy that's outside the screen, or especially in the life, in the day that we live in today as well. So even if it's just like going to the gym, 30 minutes on the treadmill, if it brings you joy, and then if it has some health benefits, go for it. You can always find, where there's a will, there's a way.
I thought it was interesting that you mentioned about not seeing different aspects of life being in opposition with each other, that to be conscious of this aspect makes a difference, like how you can see weightlifting and like your
career,
career, or your pursuit to generate income for your livelihood. You don't see them as like opposing, but how you adjust, I guess, or like kind of like adjust your life around still having these aspects in your life.
Yeah, and I think at the end of the day, it's about finding the harmony between things in your life, so that they're not contradicting each other. You don't want to be pursuing one thing and spending so much time on one thing in your life, but then half your day is contradicting that as well. That's just unnecessary stress for you as well. So I think to find harmony between both things and see. And at the end of the day, there's always a connection between everything in this world is connected one way or another. In my own belief, I think everything's connected.
And they play like a certain role in your life as well.
Yeah, exactly. And we might not know the bigger picture or the answer now, but that's part of life as well. Is just kind of trusting that what you're doing has some sort of purpose, and at the end of it as well. And if it doesn't, if you like, for example, next year weightlifting brings me nowhere, and then I get really injured and I can't do weightlifting anymore. Yes, I'll be sad, but I'll also take that as a sign that like maybe I should do something else.
You get a new back.
Yeah, maybe God's like, okay, time for a new chapter. But that's what I mean. Like I'm open to that as well, because who knows what doors that will open, right? Maybe it's like time for me to coach, or like time for me to do that. But so
interesting.
At this time in my life, this is where I am. This is what I'm committed to. And then there's a saying, like, when you have to go when you I don't want to butcher it, but all in, like don't do half of this, half of that, half of this, and then bit by bit. So weightlifting was my like go all in, because it felt at the time, it felt right. There were confirmations, there were things that were just like, okay, there were benefits as well. And then so I was like, okay, I'll just go all in, see what happens.
Any message that you would like to convey to it?
So many.
Where do you start?
Where do I start? I think when it boils down to it, one thing that I'd like to share with the youth, especially in the society and economy that we're living in now, there's going to be a lot of things we're going to get wrong. There's so many things changing so fast in our life that I'm on the older side of youth, that it's going to be up to those now that are becoming youth to I feel like we're making the mistakes now, right? We're like, but we're trying our best. Everyone in this world is trying their best. You can only do as much as you know, right? So, but I feel like and maybe this is a generational thing as well, but I think never in our human history have we ever had all this technology that we have now.
Okay.
And with that will bring a lot of challenges. It's come to the point where I believe technology has intercepted all aspects when it comes to sports, when it comes to our household, our everyday life. Some form of technology, especially social media, is involved one way or another, whether we like it or not. And I'm like, for the majority of the world in our society as well. So I think what I want to say is, try your best. We're going to make mistakes, and that's okay. but we got to learn from it as well. Use it wisely is what I'm trying to say as well, especially in this surge of AI in the past year. That's also starting to seep into all our everyday lives. Whether you're reading an article that could have AI, you're seeing a video that could have AI, and all these things affect us one way or another, subconsciously, consciously. In the world of sports, there's so many things that can be manipulated through AI easily as well. And so that's what I mean. It's like we have this amazing, powerful tool. I think we're just learning how to use all these things. And then I think as a society, the youth, the upcoming youth, and the ones that are growing up with this technology are the ones that will really shape the way and hopefully do more good with it than they do, useless memes or other content, all this stuff. But I don't know if that answers your question. The message that I want to give for the future athletes of Brunei, for the youth, is that there's always a way. There will be a way. If your sport is a niche sport where maybe it doesn't get a lot of support or it doesn't get a lot of sponsors, but if you're passionate about what you do, just focus on that first. Start from within, and then you will inspire others, and others will notice naturally. But you also have to take yourself into account that the amount of work that you're doing is enough. A lot of times you think like, oh, am I doing enough? So I often think, if I'm doing this much, it's not enough. I got to do more. Because often our own minds will hold ourselves back. We'll hold ourselves back because we don't want to get injured. We don't want to look silly. We want to look good in front of other people, especially in the world of like where everyone films everything. You get shy to be in public to do your sport or like all this stuff. But just understand that everyone starts somewhere, and don't at the beginning, if you're starting your sport, especially as a youth, don't worry about looking silly. Just do it. Just do it. Understand everyone starts somewhere. I once looked silly doing a clean and jerk, doing a snatch, like when a baby walks for the first time, it looks so dumb.
They don't sprint immediately.
A baby doesn't just like walk like you're stumbling all this stuff. So it's the same thing with like anything you start. If it's your first time do it, it's okay. It's okay to look silly. When you talk for the first time, you don't all of a sudden know how to talk, right? You mumble, you learn words, but then eventually the more you do it, So it's the same thing with sports. The first time you do it, you're gonna look silly. It's okay. But then the more you practice, but then that's the thing. You can't let that noise and that feeling of, oh no, am I doing this right? Am I gonna look silly doing this? Don't let that stop you. I think a lot of the times beginners find that hard to overcome, and that kind of like, so just stick to it, keep doing it. And if it really brings you joy and happiness, then and I think weightlifting has also introduced me to so many amazing people in Brunei that I would have never met if I never did weightlifting. So like a lot of the people that I train with, Shuhaida, Ethan, Nina, Ida, people all the way from KB, all this stuff as well. Our passion for weightlifting has brought us together, and then and I've met all these people through that. And these are amazing people. I learn from them, and maybe they learn from me. I don't know. but yeah, so it's okay. Just try it.
Yeah.
Stick with it, and hopefully when you do it well, you're confirmed in your sport or in what you're doing, and then you can go represent Brunei one day. Oh, one last thing.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Don't let age hold you back as well. I started weightlifting like properly. So I'm 32 now. When I was like 29. 29 was when I took weightlifting seriously.
What's the for those who don't know in like the weightlifting age thing, what's usually the prime age? Then people will understand like what's
okay. So there was a statistic done recently. Someone asked Olympic medalists, how long did it take for you until you reached your first medal?
Ooh.
I think it was like two questions, like how long did it take until you reached your first medal, and then the second one was when did you start weightlifting? So not to quote the results, but roughly I think a lot of them was more than like 10, 15 years until they reached their first Olympic medal.
Ooh.
They were in
10, 15.
yeah,
Okay.
10, 15 years until they reached their first Olympic medal.
Okay.
But I mean, they've won medals like other competitions
Okay.
like that. Like I've won a few medals from normal competitions, but like to be on the Olympic level is like 10, 15 years for most of them. So if you do the maths, think about it like, okay, someone, let's say 15, so that means they must have done
Only
weightlifting like, so, and then a lot of the athletes that I met recently as well, they've been doing it since they were teenagers.
Oof.
Teenagers, and
Okay.
a lot of them now they're like 20 years old. But like the really good ones start when they're like less than 10. Less than 10. Their families, their father does weightlifting, their grandfather does weightlifting. They started when they were 5 years old. They're like
It's in
2
their
years old already.
genetics.
Exactly. Those are like the top, less than 1%, less than 0.5%. Breaking world records, winning golds every day. Those are like, but then like the average, like after, like, you know, to be competitive, maybe I would say top 10 in the world. A lot of them have had at least more than 10 years of experience,
10 years.
and they've started before their 20s. But there were also cases, individuals who win medals in their 30s as well. But they started when they were in their teens as well. So they've had
So
10,
it's still
20
yeah.
years of experience, and then they win medals in their 30s. So you can still win medals. So in weightlifting, experience plays a long. So, and I'm starting to notice that as well. The more competitions I join,
Okay.
the more I learn, the more I, you know. So I like these gold medalists, silver medalists, bronze. They've had countless competitions, more than you can ever imagine. Like probably in the hundreds. Like, yeah, I've only joined like nine competitions.
So you still got a long way to go.
I still got a long way to go. And these competitions get expensive.
So whoever
So-
wants to sponsor can.
Yeah. But yeah, so
Age, you were saying about age?
yeah, so don't
age.
let age be a factor. Again, because I started so late, I didn't expect to be at this level. But just, you know, with life circumstances and the way that things are in Brunei as well, there's not many weightlifters anyways. So I think my role, this is my own personal opinion, I think my role as an Olympic weightlifter in Brunei is not to, of course I'm going to try my best, and if I win a medal, I win a medal, but that's not my first priority. I think my first priority is to inspire the future weightlifters of Brunei, the ones that are now who are in their teens, to maybe pick up a barbell now, try it out, because who knows, in 10 years time, they could be fighting for the medals. But it has to start somewhere. And I think Brunei is doing it well as well. They're sending people, because you don't just all of a sudden send weightlifters for the first time representing the country and then expect a medal straight away, right? A lot of these sports, you send them again and again and again, and then it might not be them, but the next generation of lifters do slightly better. And then the next generation fight for more. They want to do better, and it's the same thing in life as well. You want each generation to be better than than the last. So same thing with weightlifting. So that's what I'm again. It's not a dichotomy. Life, society, sports.
There's a connection.
There's
you
a connection.
have to be conscious of it. And,
Exactly. So those things you learn in sports, you apply to life as well, and vice versa. So that's my role. It's just to inspire the next generation, make sure the next generation do better than me.
Yeah. And
Make the mistakes, and then they will learn from that, and then they do the same, and it keeps going. And then who knows, 10, 20 years, Brunei is going to win a gold. But it has to start now.
it's just a matter of time.
Yeah, matter of time. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think you kind of like paved the way of like towards working as a coach, kind of.
Maybe, I don't know. But I can foresee that would bring me a lot of joy. Already as a personal trainer, already brings me immense, just endless satisfaction and joy from just seeing my clients progress from where they were to like where they are now. They're a lot stronger, they're more confident with themselves, they can do daily tasks a lot better. I have clients who like to travel a lot. Before, they would get their husbands to carry their or like their luggage.
Okay.
But now they're
Carrying their husbands.
They're carrying everyone's luggage. You know, they carry their own shopping kind of thing. So That is also part of their empowerment as well, to empower themselves. They can also have a sense of, you know, independence and know that if they wanted to, they can do it. But it's also nice to have your husband carry your stuff for you. But
Yeah.
at least to know that they have the option to, like,
Yeah.
if they wanted to carry it, they could.
They're capable of it.
So that already brings me a lot of satisfaction and joy, and I think coaching and weightlifting would also, like, yeah. But who knows if the opportunity arises, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Do you want to-
I'm based in Mayhem Gym in Mumong currently. So I'm a personal trainer there. If you're interested in weightlifting or just want to get started on your fitness journey, you can find me there or shoot me a DM. And we can
shoot you a DM in.
Direct message. So I have an Instagram as well. It's
Okay.
Muhammad Tries Weightlifting.
I'll tag you in the description.
Yeah, you can tag me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then so we were joking around earlier as well. Yeah, so my friend Shuhaida, she's recently been sponsored by SPD Brunei. She has 10% off. So shoot 10 at JCB Stronger. I think, yeah. So they. Yeah.
We'll include it in the description.
You don't have to include that. So you got 10% off knee sleeves or any other products that they have at the store to get started with your weightlifting journey.